Hello everyone. Today we're gonna do something extra special. We're gonna use the applesauce that we receive in our school lunch to make some apple pastries. So all you need is, again, applesauce, right? We have this from our school lunch. You need 1 roll of refrigerated dough. Okay, it's raw, so we'll take that out the container. A little bit of cinnamon, some cooking spray here, vegetable oil cooking spray, any type is fine. A pan lined with foil, and then we're gonna top ours off with a little powdered sugar at the end, but we'll save the sweetness for last. Okay, so let's get started. First, you need to take your dough out of the package, make sure it's thawed out. Sometimes it can be a little sticky, so it might need a little extra help trying to take it out of the package. All right. And we're going to unroll it onto our, carefully separate it and unroll the dough gently, like so. Again, it can be a little sticky, but we want to make sure that we don't tear it because we need it to be all intact. So just unroll the dough. Might need to move it down on your cutting board just a bit. And then we're going to take a rolling pin and we're gonna stretch this out even more. So we'll just create as much space as we can with our rolling pin. Stretching it out. I might move a couple things out of the way. Even more. Bringing it down. All right. So that's step 1. Once your dough is nice and rolled out, what you're going to do is we're going to cut off some of the edges because we're going to make our Pop-Tarts in the shape of rectangles. So we're going to cut off some of these side pieces and we can discard those. So we're just going to cut them off, break them off and put them to the side. Okay. And we'll do the same for the top. Just cut it so it's nice, even lines. And bring those to the side. Perfect. All right, now that we kind of have a rectangle, we're going to take this and then we're going to cut this rectangular piece into 4 squares. One cut right down the middle and another one horizontally. So we get 4 individual squares. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfection. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on each of our squares. Just a tiny bit, it doesn't have to be a lot. Just a little cinnamon on each of our squares. Parents, this is a great place for our little hands to help out. Again, just some cinnamon on each of the 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And after we sprinkle our cinnamon, then we've got to scoop in our filling. So again, we just have applesauce from our school lunches. We're gonna put 1 scoop right in the middle of each piece of dough. And we're only gonna do it for 2 of them, maybe 1.5 scoops. We're only gonna do it for 2 because we have 1 layer that's gonna be the bottom layer, and then these are gonna be our top layers. After that, we're gonna take our top layers, we're gonna put them right on top and start lightly pressing on the side to begin with to seal it. And I'll show you how we'll seal it really well in a moment. Okay, so that's 1. And then the other one, we're going to take our top layer, Put it right on top and start lightly pressing on the side with our fingers just to start sealing it up a little bit. Next, we're going to take a fork and we're going to press down on the edges to get them to stick together, because we don't want any of our yummy filling to come out. So we're going to just use our fork to press together the edges just lightly. We don't want to poke holes in the dough. We just want to create a seal ever so lightly around the edges of each of our 2 homemade pastries. Just seal it together. And see how some of that applesauce is coming out? We want to try to prevent that from happening. So I might be squeezing a little too hard, but we want to make sure that seal is nice and tight because we don't want all of our applesauce to come out while we're baking. So just really gently press down. Make sure it's nice and sealed. Perfect. That looks great. Now we're going to spray our pan with some cooking spray, and we're gonna gently lift up our little Pop-Tarts and put them on the pan so that they can bake. You gotta be really careful when we're lifting these up. 1, 2. Perfect little Pop-Tarts. They look lovely. Okay, so once your oven's set at 350 degrees, you can go ahead and pop these little Pop-Tarts right on in there. Our Pop-Tarts need to bake in the oven for 15 to 17 minutes or until they are golden brown. And they're done. The pastries are nice and golden brown. Now all we're gonna do is just top them with a little bit of powdered sugar. So I've got some powdered sugar here and a sifter, and so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little on top. If you like, you could also sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on them, just a pinch. And there you have it. They look delicious.